welcome to my first ever unboxing and build video. And this one I just got today in from Forge World. And this is, as the title says, the Rutabi and Brorgir, the Heroes of Rhun. Oh, right there, look. That's what happens when you open it up upside down. Let's see if there's any, maybe they accidentally. That's it. I did pay for this, bought this, and yeah. So I just want to do. Okay, here we go. So, let me find some scissors here. We'll look at this. Alright, no good old Forge World, no instructions. I don't think they have any on the site either for the build, but it's usually pretty straightforward. So what I do, I get the contents, all the pieces out, and what I did was try to sort them out between the two different models. It wasn't until the very end that I realized all the blocks are all marked either for model A or B, but it was easy enough to figure it out. One of the things I want to point out that I did not do, that actually it was the last step I did, and it should be one of the first steps, is right there, the piece that's in my hand, in my right hand, that's just slightly off the bottom of the screen. That was like the the cloth talbards that go in the front of the models. Do those pieces first. It'll just be so much easier to do. But I was just trying to just figure out which one of these little pieces. Again, I hadn't realized that it was, part A, or model A and model B. So just going through, and when I'm doing these models, even just normal plastic sprue models, I just clip off, the next one or two pieces, that I need, instead of clipping them all off. Especially with these resin or a fine cast model, some of these little just pieces that you cut off look like, oh, that could, that's part of the model. And I try to keep the number of pieces kind of to a minimum, especially the smaller ones that are kind of hold off on the shield and the sword there. So just cleaning up from the connection points. I do want to say that as far as like mold lines and just the cleaning up, it was very minimum. Like, the part that I'm cleaning up here, that was just the connection point. And it was kind of a big connection point, but it was fine. Here on the robe or the cloak here, there is a little bit of an edge, and I just wanted to smooth it out a little bit, clean it up. But for the most part, this one area here was just had a lot of like little flashing, resin flashing, but not much at all. Of course, where you clip the model off of the resin block, the feet, you want to get those level as much as possible so that they make a good connection point. But just your basic cleanup that you have with models. So it was it really wasn't too bad. So what you'll see me do, and I highly recommend it, is like that, just doing a dry fit every time. That, like this piece here, it was just odd. It just kind of fits in there, this little head wings, Batman wings, whatever, ears. So it's kind of dry fit before I glue. Common sense or good practice is what I'd say. Now, I did forget how super glue it takes a little bit longer to dry connecting two pieces of resin. But I'm just using just a regular, super glue. And what I ended up doing when I glued the feet to the base, what I did cut out there was I went and got the zip kicker, which is a super glue or a CA accelerator, and it smells horrible. But as you can see, bam, it just as soon as you touch it, it fixes it. My only problem is trying to figure out like a good way. I need one more arm or a hand at least to hold the two pieces together, and then you'll see this that red beat up paintbrush come in and just dab on some of that liquid. But you'll see it especially when I show you how I glue the model to the base on the next model. But it is nice. With this kit, the arms, they're it's a small scale model, and just getting the arms or the hand that's holding the pole arm type weapon, it's so small, and it's hard to get it right, the first time. So just take your time. The sword arm here, that was just like a flush connection. On this shield, be careful, because on I believe the top, the part that you're about to see me, I was looking at the online photo. It's like, okay, yeah, that's not just supposed to be smooth on top. There's like a circle and kind of star or something, on the face of the shield that is supposed to stick up a little bit. So, try to make it look as accurate as possible. So just kind of cleaning that up again, wasn't a whole lot, but just making sure everything fits. There was like a little nub, a little key and lock for the shield. One of the things I didn't realize until later is like, it looks good from the front, especially because a lot of it gets covered up. The model gets covered up. But you want to see what the connection point looks from the other side, because it may look, good from one angle, but it may have like a big gap. So again, whenever you dry fit two pieces together, look at both sides of the connection and see that it fits. Again, apply, what this zip kicker accelerator does, you just put super glue on one piece and then that accelerator on the other two, and it goes. This is a good example. Also notice the level 2 move where I'm holding that model with just my fingers. Yeah, because I need another hand. But bam, right there you see it dries, and it like superheats the super glue. So be careful with it if you've never used a super glue accelerator. It does get really hot, so you don't want to. You want to be very cautious with it. And again, it smells horrible. So probably want to be in a ventilated area. On those large pieces of resin that you got cut off, I tend to like try to clip it or, a little bit in a couple of different directions instead of just like smashing right through it. I have good clippers, but I don't want, this resin, it's brittle, especially fine cast models. Here, this is a good example or illustration of seeing the zip kicker here. So super glue on one end and just dots there, and voila, it's done. It's dry. So, but yeah, whenever you're cutting those large pieces, be careful. This one, you saw me like bend it. I could just tell that it was going to break off there, and I'm right, more than half of the time. So I didn't feel too bad about that. And then when in doubt, right here, just clip off a little less, like leave more, and then go back and clean it up. Like I was surprised, even on like this, the staff there wasn't a mold line. I was pleasantly surprised with it. There's a little piece of flashing there, just using the backside of my knife and popping it off. Have some time set aside for this. Anytime you're doing hobbying, just make sure you know what it's going to take. This took, to build both these models, maybe 30 or 45 minutes. It took a little bit of time. See those two pieces on the outside? Those are those talbards that I wish I would have done first. As you'll see in the last step of this video, how much problem I had with, at least one of them I had a big problem with. Here I realized I need to put the arm on the body and not the arm on the connected to the hand, because I wanted to make sure the angle was good. And I'll give you some behind the scenes thing. This took about 5 to 7 minutes just to get to this point. I couldn't get the piece to fit in there, and I actually cut off the little nub that was supposed to fit into the socket. And I'm like, you know what, we're just going to flush mount this dude and call it good. So this is a little back piece, and the cape's going to connect up to that. Get the hand connected to the arm first. A little frustrating here again. Needed one more hand. I've thought about like trying to figure out a way to set up like something that's stationary that I could hold with my hands, the two pieces together, and then like touch something. But usually I try to keep the lid on that stuff until right when I need to use it, just because it smells so bad. So see, like if I could just hold it like that and then touch it with the zip kicker, that'd be great. But it's like I need to hire an apprentice to do that, to help me out whenever I'm building models. And I've tried the little clips and all sorts of stuff, but this will be, as far as I know, I'm going to keep this and build a Easterlings army. I did get some warriors. I will be painting this up. You'll see a video coming out shortly with the painting guide for these two models. And most of my videos, or all of them to this point, are just like average Joe, quick, get the things painted and looking good. I don't want to sacrifice that, but just a high tabletop standard. But also, I always try to show in my painting videos like how, steps that, here's the essentials I think you need to do to start playing, to have a painted model, and then, hey, here's something you may want to think about going back and adding to or highlighting and stuff like that. So be looking for that video here soon. It's just a couple more minutes left here, and these are the two pieces that, again, it would have been so easy to glue these on very first thing, and it ended up taking me a while. This one wasn't too bad. It kind of fell in, and there was enough room between the model and the base that I was able to eventually easily get this little piece in there. I had to get my tweezers out because my big nubby fingers were just too difficult to hold. So yeah, it just goes there. Again, this piece was rather easy. This dude, yeah, I edited out a lot of footage for this one. It just took me forever. And in the end, it wasn't the best fit. There's behind, like on the main model, there's just a piece of resin, like a little nub that was just there. And I was just trying to cut that out. It just took a while. Here we go. Here's both our models. And I'm going to get these primed up. We'll have a picture of that and be watching for the painting video. Hey, let me know what you like about these unboxing videos or what you'd like to see, and I will try my hardest to get that into the next video. But until then, enjoy your hobby and be kind.